So glad you're with us. Let's get an update on that forecast from forecaster Mackenzie Bart. Looks like it's going to be a nice start this afternoon, at least.
Yeah, we are seeing a few areas of fog out there, looking pretty clear as we take a look at our ABC7 tower cam. This is over Lee County. You see, not looking all that bad. We can see a little bit of reflection in the light out there, and that's just with that humidity that we're seeing in the air. Temperatures right now in the mid-60s for most of us, even a few spots in the 70s. Waking up this morning, dew points in the mid-60s as well. And when this number is close and we're also dealing with that humid morning, that's when we are going to keep an eye on the fog tracker. Overall, not looking that bad across southwest Florida. Punta Gorda is kind of the area that I've been watching all morning long, down to about a mile visibility there. Inland down to about 8 miles, so not looking too bad. And the rest of us kind of seems like a decent morning commute. But of course, we'll continue to watch this over the next hour or so as we work closer towards sunrise. Sometimes fog tends to get a little worse towards then. But real-time radar, besides that, off to a quiet start, and that's what we're going to notice as we head throughout the day. Once that fog starts to lift as we work closer towards 9 a.m., we'll notice plenty of sunshine out there as we make our way into the afternoon, and it is going to be a warm one. Temperatures warming up into the mid-80s as we head throughout the day. But we do have some cooler weather, especially as we make our way closer towards the weekend. We'll be talking about our next cold front and, of course, how cool we'll get. That's all coming up here in about 10 minutes.
Mackenzie, thank you. This morning, Bonita Springs leaders want something done about the Dixie Moon Cafe. Ever since the place moved to the city, leaders say it's become an eyesore. The city has moved the building a couple of months ago with plans to renovate it, but we haven't seen those plans quite yet. So they're coming up with a way to cover up the historic cafe now. City council members say that they will look at options to screen that building. The way people don't have to look at it. That way they don't have to, is what I mean. The agenda for today's meeting addresses the building's condition, and it's going to look at how much it will cost to cover it up. That meeting gets underway at 5:30 this evening.
This morning, there are 3 headlines that you need to know about before you start off your day. They are the search for a robbery suspect, a council meeting, and also some area pools opening up here in Southwest Florida. First off, let's talk about that suspect search. Today, Lee County deputies are looking for a man suspected of a robbery and a sexual assault. This happened at the Lehigh Acres 7-Eleven. It's on State Road 82 and Sunshine Boulevard. The man is accused of hiding in the back seat of the victim's car with a gun. Once the victim drove off from the store, the suspect demanded cash, a cell phone, and sexual favors. The victim didn't have any money, so the suspect made them go to the bank to withdraw some cash and take them back to the gas station. The person then was dropped off. The deputies are now hoping that someone recognizes the suspect in these photos. Today, Punta Gorda City Council members will be discussing pickleball courts at Gilchrist Park. Recently, the neighbors complained about some of the noise that comes from the courts. Some pickleball players and some neighbors say that maybe some sound barriers are needed around the court. Council members are meeting this morning at 9 to talk about that. Finally, today in Charlotte County, the pools at Devers Regional and at South County Regional Parks are going to be open for their regular hours. That move started yesterday, or rather on Monday, I should say. South County Regional Park pool will open for pass holders at 6:30 in the morning. The pool then opens to the general public at 9 this morning. Meanwhile, the Devers Regional Pool opens up to everybody this morning at 10 a.m.
It is 6:03 in the morning. This morning, a motorcyclist is dead after a crash on Alligator Alley. I want to show you some video from FDOT. This is the scene here. Investigators got there about 8 o'clock yesterday. I should say 8 p.m. Florida Highway Patrol shut down the northbound lanes as they investigated what happened, but troopers say 2 cars and the motorcycle were involved in this accident. We're still working to find out what exactly led up to that crash.
We have some sad news to report this morning. Yesterday, Barbara Dell passed away. ABC7 worked with Barbara for years, and the organization that she founded here, Dress for Success, Southwest Florida. We covered Shop for Success for many years. Women could buy some new or gently used clothes for that program, but that money then raised was to provide women with self-esteem, career clothes, and job training skills to help them help inspire greatness and help them move forward in life. Here's Barbara talking about the organization that she was so passionate about.
We also work with these women as far as helping them advance their careers and their career development and job retention. So they have a buddy when they come in. Not only do we suit them, but they also have a volunteer who helps them along.
Barbara's friends are telling us that she was battling cancer for about 4 years. She went into hospice at the beginning of December. She died at the age of 66. We understand that there will be a celebration of life in her honor on Friday, February 8th at 4 p.m. We'll let you know when we get a location, but certainly a lot of gratitude is owed to her for the wonderful things she did in this community.
Yeah, a giant in the community.
Yes,
It's
no
amazing.
doubt.
She was a wonderful woman. It's 6:05 in the morning. This morning, there's a possible breakthrough on the government shutdown. It's now in its second week, of course. President Trump has invited congressional leaders from both parties to the White House today. But as ABC's Lydia Lopez reports, he's still holding firm on his demand for the border wall funding to end this shutdown.
Signs of possible progress in the stalemate over border funding that has the partial government shutdown dragging into day 12. President Trump suggesting to Fox News he's ready to deal.
I'm here. I'm ready to go. It's very important. A lot of people are looking to get their paycheck, and so I'm ready to go anytime they want.
But is standing firm on his demand for $5 billion in funding for a border wall. Now President Trump has invited Speaker-designate Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer to the White House today, along with Republican leaders. But White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders saying they're being invited for a border security briefing from senior Homeland Security officials. The meeting will be the first between Pelosi, Schumer, and President Trump since their contentious meeting in front of the press.
I will take the mantle. I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you for it.
But with Democrats set to take control of the House when they come back into session tomorrow, President Trump tweeted directly at Pelosi Tuesday, saying, "Let's make a deal." Pelosi firing back in a tweet saying the president has given Democrats a great opportunity to show how we will govern responsibly and quickly pass our plan to end the irresponsible Trump shutdown. But the House Democrats' plan to end the shutdown, two bills announced Monday, does not include $5 billion for border wall funding, which the White House has already said is a non-starter.
Lydia Lopez with that report. The Democrats' plan, in fact, keeps funding for border security for the Department of Homeland Security at the current level of $1.3 billion and would only reopen DHS for about a month.
This morning, we know the cause of a boat fire in Cape Coral. This happened on Monday night right around 11 p.m. on Savona Parkway. A man thought he saw a bonfire, but when he looked behind his house, his neighbor's 24-foot boat was on fire. He called police and he grabbed his garden hose to try to keep the fire from spreading to other boats. Firefighters say the fire started because somebody shot off a flare gun, and the flare landed in the boat.
It could have been lots worse. We were very lucky that that's all it was just it was a boat. Boats can be replaced, but yeah, lucky it wasn't a house. It could have been, with all of us pretty close, it could have been any one of us pretty easy.
The fire caused $70,000 worth of damage to the boat. Firefighters say that they do believe this was an accident. I can tell you, I was in that neighborhood that night, and there were fireworks going off everywhere. It can be so dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, it was scary.
Like that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that guy has perspective, too.
Yeah, the
You know
neighbor
what I
has
mean?
good perspective
The owner?
on things.
Yeah. If you're planning to fly somewhere this year, book your flight now. Now. Not in 3 minutes, now.
Now.
That's why, Skyscanner, it's a group, right? It's a travel search engine. You heard about this? They say January is the cheapest month to book a flight in 2019. August, if you're curious, is actually the second cheapest month.
Oh, okay.
Also, time of day is a factor as well. You'll get the best deals on early morning flights if you're flying in the United States. And you want to make sure to book at least 2 to 3 weeks ahead of your flight. For international flights, you'll get the best deals 2 months before your trip.
Good to know.
But now is the time to do it.
Okay. Good to know. Another good thing to buy right now is a new car.
Oh, great.
Yeah, experts say that this is the best time to make that purchase. Why? Well, car dealers are pushing to clear out their 2018 inventory. A lot of new models obviously rolling in. They're offering some aggressive pricing, so you might have a bit more leverage in getting a good deal right now.
Too bad I'm not in the market for a new car.
Me either. I'll just limp along my 2002.
But you know what, Jen? It's not about us. I'm sure there are some people out there who need a new car, and they're happy to hear.
And
And now is the time.
Hopefully they get some good deals. That's a good thing.
After they buy a new car, they can book a flight. 6:09 is
Big
the
plans.
time. A cow given a second chance at life. And a meeting of the mascots gone completely wrong. Uh-oh. Digital Daily up ahead.
Plus, this is not your average ball drop. Find out where a massive high heel was used to ring in the new year. I'm guessing you know by that sign. Coming up on More in the Morning.
And if you're heading out the door here, we are seeing a few areas, some light fog, but otherwise the commute looking like to be a warm one as we make our way throughout your Wednesday. But I'll be breaking down 6 6:12 on your Wednesday morning, and keeping an eye on the fog tracker. Yesterday we woke up to some dense areas of fog. Overall this morning, not looking all that bad. You can see a lot of dry space across our area, but we are keeping an eye on one area right here near Punta Gorda, even Port Charlotte, just down to about a mile visibility. So if you are traveling around this area or up through 75 closer towards Tampa, Sarasota, keep in mind you are going to run through this area of some of that patchy fog. As we head throughout the next few hours or so, we will notice that fog start to dissipate, especially as we work closer towards 9 a.m. But the rest of the day is still going to be warm out there. Dew points up into the mid to upper 60s, so definitely going to feel warm, especially as we head into the afternoon. And our afternoon temperatures continuing to sit above average, at least 10 degrees. 85 degrees is our high today in Fort Myers, 85 down in Naples, and even 86 out in Immokalee. So it is going to feel warm out there, especially if you're out and about as we head throughout the afternoon. It is going to be mainly dry, though. Real-time radar off to a quiet start this morning, and we're looking to stay dry as we head throughout the morning and into the afternoon. Here's a look at 8 o'clock. Some of that fog out there that we are tracking by that time will have started to dissipate, and by noon, we'll notice this partly cloudy skies as we make our way throughout the day. So if you were looking to hop out for lunch, maybe downtown Fort Myers, downtown Naples, overall, you're not going to need that umbrella. And even as we work closer towards that evening commute, pressing forward to 5 o'clock, you can see a few more clouds will be out there, but overall, looking pretty clear in terms of rain. And rain chances for today, very low. As we work into the late evening hours, can't rule out a sprinkle out there, but overall, things are going to look relatively dry as we head throughout the day. Rain chances are going to increase, so as we make our way closer towards the weekend, and temperatures will drop off. It's all with this next front that we're tracking. Right now, a stationary front. So this is what's going to keep us warm and muggy as we head into your Thursday and even part of Friday. Then that front will move through as we head throughout your Saturday, bringing some cooler weather behind it for the weekend. But first, we have to get through another few days of kind of that warm weather. So Thursday and Friday, temperatures continuing to hang out in the mid-80s, few mornings in the upper 60s. Saturday, that front will move through in the first half of the day, bringing a few early showers along with it. But by the afternoon and evening, things will dry out and that cooler air will start to rise. Temperatures hanging out in the mid to low 70s by Sunday. We'll notice mornings in the 50s, and that'll hold through as we head throughout your Monday and Tuesdays as well. Mornings in the 50s and afternoons hanging out in the 70s.
Mackenzie, thank you very much. We are watching the roads for you this morning. This is just coming across our traffic map here, everybody. A crash I-75 northbound. This is right at the Daniels Parkway and Colonial Parkway area. Of course, if you're familiar with those locations, you know they can get kind of busy a little bit. So make sure that you give yourself some time going through this area. I'm checking our FDOT cameras to see if I can find the crash here. I'm not seeing anything at this time, but just keep this in mind if you are going through that area. Give crews the space they need as they work to clean this crash. Meanwhile, our Cape Coral roads are looking pretty good. Veterans Parkway, Cape Coral Parkway looking pretty good. 4 minutes to cross the midpoint, 5 to cross the Cape Coral Bridge, and then our roads over in Lehigh looking good as well. 6:15 is the time. Drive safe.
Traffic on ABC 7 is sponsored by Storm Smart. Protect your home and feel secure. Storm Smart. It's not just smart, it's genius.
Bringing in the new year in style. Those in Key West had their choice of several unusual drops taking place at the Bourbon Street Pub. Drag queen Sushi dropped to the ground in a giant high heel shoe. Meanwhile, huge replica of a conch shell, the symbol, of course, the Florida Keys, dropped at Sloppy Joe's. And then the Ocean Key Resort had a faux key lime wedge splashing into a giant margarita glass. They know how to party in Key West, and it showed.
That's how you do it. It's a little more active there than it was inside the Parker house. A new lease on life is what we call it. A cow that escaped from a slaughterhouse-bound truck is making headlines once again, this time for a tiny New Year's surprise no one saw coming. December 27th, New Jersey traffic was halted after Brianna the cow escaped from this truck. Instead of going to the slaughterhouse, she was taken on an animal sanctuary. She was taken there. That's where the stakes were raised even higher. Ooh.
The stakes.
That's a mean pun.
Yikes.
Brianna ended up giving birth at the sanctuary just days after arriving. Rescuers were reportedly unaware that she was even pregnant. And she was 9 months pregnant at that.
Oh, my.
That's why she escaped, I think, you know?
Sure.
Brianna and her new baby, Winter, are safe, sound, and healthy, and not on a dinner menu right now.
A moving story.
Moving story, Jen. You're better at puns than I am. Here's another daring animal rescue, this one by a Michigan State trooper. After arriving at the scene of a house fire in a northern Michigan neighborhood, a trooper realized that a pair of Great Dane dogs were trapped inside. The trooper entered the burning house, not once but twice, got those Danes out. And the dogs were given oxygen treatments. They were sent to an animal hospital. Oh, look at them. They're into the oxygen. I love Danes. They are expected to make a full recovery. They're just big teddy bears.
They are. Good news. That's great.
Gentle giants. Fans are already counting down the days until July 4th. Netflix has just announced the holiday as the season 3 premiere date for Stranger Things. Last month, Netflix revealed the titles of each episode in the upcoming season. So you have some time to get caught up on the previous 2 seasons. It's a great show if you haven't checked it out. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun show. So as of the last college football or college bowl games wrap up, one mascot in particular rammed up the action. Watch what happened here.
Oh.
This was yesterday during the Texas-Clemson game, or excuse me, Texas-Georgia game. What am I talking about? Who am I? Before the game, the mascots kind of got into a little tussle. The animal handlers wanted to get a photo of the University of Texas mascot. His name is Bevo. The Longhorn with the university, he got into a thing with the University of Georgia's bulldog named Hugo. Bevo wasn't having it. He charged at Hugo, breaking through his animal barrier.
Ooh.
In the process. Luckily, Hugo and his handlers reacted quickly enough to get that fat little bulldog out of the way, and nobody was hurt. Bevo's handlers kind of downplayed the situation, saying he was just trying to say hi. But yikes. But this happened live on the air.
Oh,
it was
man.
on ESPN, and they were kind of just showcasing the mascots.
Right.
All of a sudden, live on the air, as the commentators were talking about it, these two, Bevo just kind of wanted to say hello.
When it comes to
friendly
mascot
Longhorn.
sizing there, the poor bulldog didn't stand a chance. Now, when it comes to the teams, different story. But, man.
But it was a bit of a metaphor, if you think about it, for the game, because the Longhorns
Well, there you
ended up
go.
winning the game. So there you go, hook 'em horns is what they say.
All right.
I lived in Texas for 3 years. I know all about this.
You know all about it. All
They
right.
welcomed me with open arms.
I'm glad everybody was okay. On the field, off the field. you
Especially
name
little Hugo.
it. Yes. Welcoming the new year with a new addition to the family. We get you more on the first newborn to ring in the new year, only on More in the Morning.
Okay, we know you've got plans, things to do, places to be, and Southwest Florida weather isn't on your side. But here's something you may not know. Each year, only one station in Southwest Florida is certified most accurate. And for the 5th year in a row, only ABC7 got it right more than anyone else. Now you know. So, from sunny to severe to just plain inconvenient, trust the ABC7 forecast. Your most accurate forecast.
A dangerous high-speed chase through South Los Angeles ended in a violent crash. Officers say at least one firearm was thrown from the car during the chase. As the driver sped through an intersection, the car hit a white sedan, which then slammed into a third vehicle. Police swarmed the car and arrested the suspects.
Meanwhile, scary moments in New Hampshire. A dog escapes an attack by 2 angry coyotes. The whole thing caught on surveillance. The owner says if his 55-pound pit bull wasn't safe, neither is your dog. Locals have suggested hunting coyotes, which is actually legal in New Hampshire all year long.
It was a mad dash in Washington on New Year's Day to visit the Smithsonian museums before they closed. The museums used some money from last year's budget to operate through the government shutdown, but now the money's gone. The Smithsonian museums will be back open, or will not be back open, I should say, until the federal shutdown is resolved. The National Zoo is also now closed.
6:22 is the time, and this morning's Positively Southwest Florida. A number of families are starting the new year off celebrating new life. The O'Grady family of North Fort Myers is one of them. May O'Grady delivered a baby girl, Adeline, just after 1 o'clock in the morning at Health Park Hospital. It was Lee Health's first baby of the new year, but this wasn't the holiday they originally thought they'd be having that baby on. Listen.
Her due date was December 25th, so we were expecting a Christmas baby, but she decided to stay a little bit longer, and they decided to induce her yesterday, and it was a very long process.
Oh. Little Adeline weighs 9 pounds, 5 ounces. The couple says that they took birthing classes, they watched videos online, and in the end, they delivered this as a natural birth. So congratulations to them.
That's great. Congratulations.
Welcome to the world, Adeline.
What a cutie.
2019, off to a positive start. If you have a Positively Southwest Florida story, we want to hear it from you. Share it with us. Just send us a message on Facebook, ABC7 Southwest Florida, and we'll share it with the folks.
All right, let's give you something to talk about this morning. According to science, sleeping in could be better for women than it is for men. According to research published in the Journal of the Clinic Endocrinology and Metabolism, sleeping longer lowered the risk of diabetes for women, but it actually had the opposite effect on men. So the downside is, men not getting enough sleep also raises their risk of getting diabetes.
So not getting enough sleep and getting enough sleep. Let's just say for a man, the risk of diabetes is higher.
It's higher. So if you're a woman and your goal is to get a little more shut-eye this new year, according to science, that's okay. But yeah, you gotta love these studies. Drink wine, don't drink wine. Get sleep, don't get sleep.
Drink coffee, don't drink coffee.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
You be you this New Year's. And if you can afford to get some shut-eye and sleep in, good for you.
Good for you, for
We're
sure.
envious.
All right, so our producer, Uniqua, warned me about this story because it's something else to talk about. Jen, did you know you can buy a pillow now in the shape of a rear end, a person's butt?
Is Mike Lindell, My Pillow, selling this?
I've been making my pillow out of my home state of Minnesota. Seriously, this is called a buttress pillow.
Okay. Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
This is real.
This is real.
Okay.
It was created by a Kickstarter campaign just last year. As you see, the cushion comes in the shape of a human derriere. The creators of the pillow say since the beginning of time, man has desired that, a rear end. Okay.
Since the beginning of time, men have desired butts? Is that what you're saying?
I guess so.
Okay.
I mean, I like to sit, but it's hard to come by, though. So the pillow is to help ease that struggle.
Okay.
According to the company's website, the butt pillow comes in 3 colors, and it only costs $69.
Really?
Gregory.parker@abc-7.com. That's where you can send some of those emails, folks, because we definitely want to hear this stuff.
I had no idea that this was a thing.
I know.
Do you remember we did a story not long ago about, I believe, one of the Asian countries, they were selling just an arm, so it felt like you were being cuddled at
you
night.
like cuddle with the arm.
So the butt may be another thing.
And it doesn't cost.
But another thing.
But another thing. There you go.
In hindsight, it could be a good idea. They're going to laugh all the way to the bank.
It wouldn't surprise me. The guy who made the pet rock got $1 million.
There you go.
So why not the butt pillow?
Now I know what to get you for your birthday. It's coming up.
Greatly appreciate that. Ooh, next is 6:30. Yes. A lawmaker pushing to make it a felony to remove Confederate monuments. Get more on why some local leaders doubt that move will happen.
Plus, police work to save a baby from a father who has a gun. Hear what officers said that made him finally surrender.
A 2-year-old recovering this morning after falling into a rhino exhibit at the zoo. Get more at 6:30 on what she was doing that caused that fall.
Yeah, all I remember is losing control of my car and then just flipping. And I just kept flipping and until I finally stopped and I realized I was upside down.
Plus, a woman crashes into a ditch right near I-4. Hear about who the woman says kept her calm while she waited for help.
And taxes in Lee County are going up. Get more this morning on how much more you're going to have to pay for gadgets, things like phones.
More in the morning at 6:30 starts now.
Live from ABC 7, this is News at 6.
Good morning, everybody. We're so glad you're with us. Back to reality in this new year for a lot of folks heading off to work.
I know.
School kids still enjoying some time off. Good for them. I'm Jen Stacy.
They're enjoying time off till like next week.
I know. It's good to be them.
They're enjoying time off till 2020. It's amazing. I'm Greg Parker. Great to be with you. Mackenzie Bard over there in the forecast center. Just see what we have in store for us weather-wise. Temperatures, well, I'll let you decide what they are. I would say they're okay, but every time I say they're okay, you're like, really?
I know. Come on, Greg. You know about our temperatures. They're not all that bad this morning, especially up near Arcadia, Punta Gorda, down into the low 60s, so not feeling too terrible. But we do have a few warm spots on the board. Naples sitting at 70 degrees this morning, Everglades City 68 for you. So we are dealing with a few areas of kind of that warm and muggy weather, and that's why I've been watching the fog tracker this morning. Overall, not looking at some dense fog yesterday, kind of out and about. You kind of notice that denser fog throughout the area. This morning, not all that bad. A few areas of some patchy fog, mainly up near Punta Gorda, down to about 2 miles of visibility there. Inland, maybe a few areas of patchy fog, but otherwise you can see 75 looking pretty clear for you this morning if you are headed out the door. Just you know what to do. If you're traveling in a few of those areas, just keep those low beams on. Give yourself plenty of time. Real-time radar off to a clear start. Besides that, not tracking any rain here. And we are going to see relatively dry conditions throughout the day. A few areas of that fog that we are seeing will start to lift as we make our way closer towards 9, 10 a.m. and temperatures really warming up as we head towards the afternoon. How much will warm up as we head throughout the day today, and even some cooler weather ahead as we look towards the weekend. That's all coming up here in about 10 minutes.
Pediatric trauma alert will be used in Vieira Hospital.
Right now, a toddler is in the hospital after she fell into a rhinoceros exhibit. Her father fortunately was able to get her out when she fell in.
Yeah, but this morning we're actually learning that he was only able to get his child out after one of those rhinos ended up making contact with her. It's pretty scary stuff. Watch this.
You have a 1-year-old who fell into the rhino, basically pinned up against the wall. She's conscious at this time.
For the first time, New Emergency Calls offers insight into what happened at Brevard Zoo Tuesday afternoon.
Pediatric trauma alert will be used in Vieira Hospital.
News spreading quickly among visitors about an accident involving a girl at the rhino exhibit after emergency responders swarmed to the zoo.
We thought it was just a day at the park.
Zoo officials say a toddler taking part in a hands-on experience slipped between steel poles and stumbled into a rhinoceros exhibit.
I was actually kayaking around the rhino exhibit when it happened.
A viewer sending us this photo, which appears to show a small shoe inside the enclosure minutes after the incident happened. The child's injuries forcing her to be airlifted to the hospital after making contact with the rhinoceros's snout.
They have barriers to protect them, so I don't know how this happened.
Paramedics transporting the child's mother to an area hospital. Meanwhile, zoogoers and parents saying it hits too close to home.
Keep an eye on them all the time. That's pretty much it.
Wow, the rhino actually touched that girl with its snout. That's near the animal's mouth, of course. It's not part of the horn exactly, but zoo officials do say the rhino is not going to be punished in any way for the incident.
The toddler falling into the exhibit comes just 3 days after a deadly lion attack. This one happened in Burlington, North Carolina. 22-year-old Alexandra Black was killed less than 2 weeks into her internship at the Conservators Center. A male lion attacked her when it escaped a locked enclosure while Black was doing a routine cleaning. Neighbors there now demanding more oversight, saying that wasn't the first time a lion's escaped.
We were just really all very upset about her death and what had happened to her. And I guess we were just hoping something good could come out of it, you know, that more safety regulations could happen. And we just want to know that it is safe so nothing like this ever happens again.
That lion was shot and killed so deputies could retrieve Black's body. The center is now shut down indefinitely while authorities investigate the attack.
That is a sad story.
It's awful.
ABC 7 and ABC News will be following both of these attacks this morning. On Good Morning America, for example, ABC's Victor Aquino is live in Melbourne, Florida, digging deeper into how this 2-year-old fell into that interactive rhino exhibit. A coverage starts at 7 a.m. right after your news at 6.
Happening today, more sludge removal. Crews are back out there in Fort Myers getting rid of the dirt. It was originally supposed to be taken to Alabama, but after a change in plans, the sludge from South Street will be taken up north to Polk County. The last time crews were out at that site was the day after Christmas. They removed over 3,500 tons of sludge. That was in one day. The process to remove the sludge has been in the works now for years. People in the area tell us that city leaders need to get the problem taken care of one way or another. The city is spending millions on the removal. As that work picks back up today, the city says that they are committed to removing all of the sludge.
6:35 a.m., a Florida lawmaker is working on a bill that would keep Confederate monuments right in place. Republican Mike Hill introduced this bill. Now, if it does pass, it would be a felony to remove or damage any war memorial out there. The president of the NAACP does not think this bill is going to pass. The organization is pushing for the General Robert E. Lee bust, which is downtown Fort Myers, to be moved into a museum.
Nothing is going to deter us. This is hateful. It's un-American.
If someone wants to take it down, then it should be brought to the people, and we can all decide. I don't think that there should be a bill like banning it completely.
Most local lawmakers that we did reach out to have yet to say how they're going to vote on this specific bill. But State Representative Spencer Roach says he does support stricter penalties for defacing them, but he is concerned about not allowing local communities to decide what happens to those statues.
He's got a gun!
Don't do this with your
Listen, just drop it, man.
New video this morning showing the intense moments where officers rescue a baby girl from a father who has a gun. This happened in Georgia. Investigators say they chased the father down for miles before he stopped in that car. And once he did, they saw him. He was holding a gun. Did you see that? The 1-year-old daughter in the front seat, police believing that the gun was the same one the father had used to shoot at the child's mother after a custody exchange. At one point during the rescue, an officer risks her own life, opening that car door and grabbing the baby out of the front seat. Investigators say that's when the father took the gun and held it to his own head.
It ain't working. Look, that baby girl's gonna grow up, and you're gonna be there. You're gonna be there every step of the way.
Their words do convince him his life is worth living. He steps out of the car, and police arrest him. The father now faces multiple charges, including kidnapping.
God bless our officers.
They are absolute heroes, no doubt.
They are heroes. All right, this morning a Tampa woman here is I guess, super lucky to be alive. I mean, we're talking about a car accident that was so horrible, literally almost killed her by water. Amanda Antonio says she was driving on I-4 when another car just suddenly cut her off, sent her SUV out of control. Florida troopers they say Antonio's vehicle overturned and then slowly started sinking in a deep water-filled ditch. That mucky brown water quickly rose up from Antonio's car right up to her chin. After the accident, she was able to call police for help, and the dispatcher on the other end was keeping her calm until help arrived.
Like, well, are they coming? Did they fire me? Did they fire me? It's like, yes, just keep talking, keep talking. So I kept talking to her, and then by the time they came, the water was like right here. And I just like squeezed into where you put your feet in the car because everything else was full of water.
So if I'm hearing her correctly, she had to go down to the floorboard to find oxygen.
My gosh.
Or what was left of the oxygen.
How
Hillsborough
terrifying.
deputies, got to the scene after that call. They spotted Antonio's car sticking out of that muddy water. They say they don't think Antonio would have made it out alive because most of that car was underwater, submerged completely, pretty much. Scary.
New this morning, Mickey and Minnie apparently had too many guests for their New Year's Eve celebration. Walt Disney World sent out a tweet Monday morning announcing it was turning away new guests from its Magic Kingdom park. The reason? Well, the theme park was near capacity. The Business Insider reports that as of 1 p.m. on Monday, there was a 3-hour wait to ride Space Mountain, 3 hours to ride Big Thunder Mountain roller coaster. The park did not stay closed, though, to new guests all day. In fact, right around 5:15, Disney World updated its Twitter account announcing that the Magic Kingdom was reopened to all guests. That place is packed on any day. Can you imagine?
The place is always packed. I kind of feel bad for the families that may have traveled so far and then were told they have to wait a little while to get in. So basically, Mickey and Minnie were making way too much money the other day and said, all right, enough.
Wow.
New this morning, the Department of Transportation says most of the U.S. rail systems have missed a safety deadline that was set years ago. Said only 4 of the nation's 41 rail systems required to implement life-saving technology to prevent train accidents actually ended up meeting Monday's deadline, which of course would have been the last day of the year. The others, including Amtrak, by the way, have either applied for or been granted extensions. The technology, called Positive Train Control, can prevent collisions and derailments.
In Cape Coral, Southeast 47 Terrace is open for business, but business owners say the customers are not coming back fast enough. The streetscape project was supposed to be done by the end of 2018, but it's not yet. Business owners say that they took a pretty big hit because of this. We've been telling you about this for a long time now. Customers couldn't tell if businesses were open or closed with the streets being blocked off. Well, now that they're open, business is picking up, but it's pretty slow.
Like, we're seeing a little bit of the season, you know, the snowbirds that have come back, and I think a little bit of, deterrent of, the road.
The total cost of the streetscape project is expected to be $13 million. It does look really, really nice. I know it's been hard getting
It's getting there.
Yeah.
It's getting there. Families living in Lee County are dealing with a new sales tax increase. Here's how it works. That half-cent sales tax increase went into effect officially yesterday. Lee County School District pushed for the increase to build new schools along with increasing security for our schools. So the big question is, what does it mean for you and your money? So here's a quick example for you off the top of my head. You buy a $1,000 iPhone. Yesterday, let me just say 2 days ago, because that was New Year's Eve, right? Again, my days are all convoluted now.
Yes.
So 2 days ago, you would have paid $60 in sales tax for a $1,000 phone. Today, and from now on, you're going to pay $65. So you do the simple math, that's a $5 difference right there, all because of this new sales tax increase.
If a 0.5%,
makes a drastic difference, and especially education for the kids and the future for the kids, and I think it's worth it.
The half-cent sales tax increase does not apply to groceries, gas, or medicine, but the increase is going to last the next 10 years. Well, some crazy things can happen.